Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the gold price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis starting on the 2 week chart.
I would like to
here.
mention that this
We are
video
looking
is
at the
sponsored
all-time
by
history for the
Maxi,
gold.
celebrating
We have,
the
of course,
7
an A,
years with
B, and a
massive
C
bonuses.
potential
Check
zigzag
the
toward
link
the upside,
below.
finish wave 1 or wave A. After this case scenario, we're looking at an A, B, and a C toward the downside with a finished wave 2 or a wave B. In this case scenario, you would like to see, of course, a move toward the upside in both cases, of course, where we see here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. A first wave 1, and you see, of course, ABC for a wave 2, and currently we are in wave 3. This can be written as ABC zigzag as well, because you have impulse, correction, impulse, meaning you have a zigzag for 1, correction for 2, and a zigzag for wave 3 in case you are in a leading diagonal for a wave 4 next, and of course you're looking finally for a wave 5 for this leading diagonal. This is the first scenario and the highest potential here that we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, of course, we are currently in between the perfect level for a wave 3 in a leading diagonal between the 0.886 and the 0.786. So let's see it from that side much better. And of course, we have hit the 886 currently, meaning if we reach the 1-to-1 fib level here for this price action, meaning of course definitely invalidation for this impulse. Let me set the 1-to-1 fib level, which is at 4,529. And that means if the gold keeps going up and hit, of course, the 1-to-1 fib level, therefore this leading diagonal will be invalidated. What does it mean invalidated? That means, of course, we're gonna have to move in a new scenario where you might have finished, of course, first an A, a B, and a C toward the upside. We're gonna estimate the price action if it's gonna move toward the downside again, or if it's gonna overshoot the 1-to-1 fib level. If we see an overshoot for the 1-to-1 fib level, we have to consider that the gold here is an impulse and not, of course, a simple zigzag. Why? Because, of course, we start to see a wave 3 higher and longer than the wave 1. Overshooting the 1-to-1 fib level, meaning, of course, you're moving towards a scenario of a big wave 1, 2, and a 3, 4, and a 5. Now, why I'm saying this now, of course, in the all-time history, you see a very faded price action here. We're talking about the 40s and the 70s. Yeah, so this, of course, can represent your wave 1 of the gold, of course, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I never mentioned this before, but of course, still a price action since the creation of the gold chart here. Yeah, so it is very possible, of course, that in the 60s and the 70s price action we see a clear wave 1, 2, by the way, and then 3, 4, and a 5 potentially. But before considering this scenario and before talking about this faded price action here since a very long time history, okay, let's take, of course, a confirmation over there, hit the 1-to-1 fib level, and then we start to talk about a wave 3, right? Now, another scenario is the possibility of a B, and a C toward the upside in the blue scenario, which is also a possible scenario anyway, without considering this faded price action here in the all-time history. It can be that you have, of course, a wave A finished and you have a wave B. You're looking to a massive impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave C. However, normally such pattern should finish exactly at the 1-to-1 fib level, meaning your wave C anyway is a 1-to-1 fib level. But if we see an overshoot again, therefore we have to open a scenario for this area, right? And this is what I'm looking for right now as an answer. Now, currently, what we are looking inside it, let's move on the daily here to see what's going on inside. So inside the daily, we have, of course, this last wave 5 toward the upside, where you are looking at 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5, meaning currently you are in a wave 5 of a major wave 5, where all your wave 5s for all the impulses previously finishes exactly there. Let's zoom in inside this last wave 5. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your wave 3, W, X, and Y for the wave 4. And you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, very deep, based on alternation, of course. Very nice alternation, by the way, for the wave 2, sideways and shallow, while your wave 4, very sharp and fast. and then moving very fast for a wave 5 again to finish this this wave, major wave 5. Yeah. So basically, I would say, as I mentioned before, the gold is already, of course, in the top. Yeah, almost in the top. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Currently, I'm looking for final wave 5. 1, 2 already finished. You're looking for 3, 4, 5, meaning a small impulse is still possible, of course. And that why small impulse? Because, of course, you got a very extended wave 3 here. After 1, 2, 3, very extended. Your wave 5 might be ending diagonal, or it might be, of course, something very small. Yeah. So we have to be careful as well. In this case scenario, we might have, of course, the following price action. Now I'm gonna explain those fib levels that I'm looking at right now here, the 1.38 and the 1.05. What do they mean? Yeah. So what I'm looking at here, because there is a potential that you finish a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 already here, it is very possible that you have also an A, 3 waves down, and you got a wave B, very strong wave B toward the upside, which it might reach, of course, the 1.38, 1.23, and then, of course, you get a wave C toward the downside again, of course, as a corrective wave. A, B, and a C, and your wave 5 has stopped already there. Yeah, possible scenario as well, so we have to be careful with it, and that's why I still see as well, in case, of course, you're still looking for higher, because, of course, this is corrective wave here that we're looking at, 3 waves. You are potentially looking for 1.38. So it is even in confluence to finish as well as an impulse. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But maybe this is gonna finish as 3 waves to, of course, interrupt an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 5 should be 5 waves. Maybe this is gonna finish differently. Yeah, so but both case scenario will finish exactly almost at the 3,252. So you have to be careful, of course. You might overshoot a little bit to 3,300 in case you are in an impulse, right? To finish a final wave 5 here, meaning wave 4 also will finish there. And then, of course, I would consider that we have topped for the gold. We reach already the blue box expected. And of course, this main blue box, by the way, is 0.618, and the 1-to-1 fib level that you are looking at right now are the major target for a wave 1 taken from the bottom here, meaning those target, okay, they are taken from the wave 1, the main impulse of the wave 5, and based, of course, on the wave 3 to give us, of course, this scenario in confluence with all the targets that we are looking at right now. Yeah, so, and basically the finish structure is perfectly gonna finish, of course, inside this blue box, potentially 3,300. Yes, so this is what I see for the gold. Basically, as a conclusion, to repeat my my conclusion here is, of course, that the gold has stopped. I would say sooner or later, one more leg, maybe towards the upside can be, but of course, yeah, everything is possible, guys. So you don't have to forget the scenario that I spoke about, which is the 1-to-1 fib level. If we see an overshoot to the 1-to-1 fib level, which is already very far from the current price action. I know it's 4,500, but if this happened, of course, that is a possible scenario to move down because finished zigzag or finished wave C. Here we go, and yeah, basically, therefore, even you cannot really call a finished wave C, right? This is even makes the possibility far. Why it is impossible to finish a wave C in one leg toward the upside? Because if you have a wave C, you have already 1, 2, and then if you see one more leg, 3, meaning 4 and a 5, you're still looking for higher to finish an impulse for a wave C. Otherwise, of course, you have to read it as W, X, and a Y, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, yeah, and then moving down. In all case scenarios, high possibility, 80% I would say, is that we have topped for the gold, 20% that we are still looking for higher, meaning 20% to reach the 1-to-1 fib level. I know that it sounds like crazy to saying this is looking at chart looking very bullish, But yeah, those are the fibs, those are the chances, the probabilities, and so on. This is how I see it, guys. What is a drop, therefore? Potentially 4 and a 5, maybe yes. I would like to see a correction before moving to this area. I'm not saying that the gold cannot reach it. He can reach it very easily, but after a correction, I would say this would be much more possible. That was it for the gold. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.